This is what makes you actually read your emails.
Like outside smoking.
I came here to scavenger hunt.
Probably. Yeah.
No, Matt, I'm not going to do that because you'll do something like bring up an electric sign or something like that before you know what the
I'm looking for your dog.
Well, we should revisit
Just go
that.
back and
The
forth.
sign that nobody can read.
Well, I love it.
They have a crush on each other.
Nobody can see it.
Good. Now
Well, can't you increase the font?
No, because then if we increase the font, then that means the
Like 3 letters across.
exactly, you won't be able to put anything on it.
Well, on this?
No, on the signboard, on the firehouse.
Oh, that?
Welcome.
It's 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock. Do we start now or do we wait for the guys to come? All right, we'll start off, sure. All right, so this is the budget meeting for fire. Let's take pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can you see this? Sarah, can you do a roll call for the trustees?
Sir, Mayor Cosby?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Darrell?
Here.
Trustee Herzog is absent. Trustee Contino?
Here.
And Trustee Murphy?
Here.
All right, good. So we're going to do fire and rescue first, and then we're going to do police. I asked the town folks to join us for the fire rescue, since they're key customers of that service. And so I'd rather wait until they show up to discuss it. I'd actually told Jared to come around 6:30 or so, just because I figured we did fire first and be done by then. You know, if I had him here, we could have done police probably.
Yeah, Gary told me he was going to do this.
Well, they're at the firehouse.
I think they're on the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Even though I texted him on Saturday, said specifically Village Hall. He never responded to that.
We're getting old, you know.
Tell me about it. Every day. So, just so you guys know, Bob, we're going to use this chart here, the one that's got the red colors on it. That's the table we're walking through. So, Don, just like you can walk through line by line. And then Matthew take over on the next page. All right. Now, while we're waiting, you had some other things you wanted to add? The fire door.
I told Nicole, I added one of the fire door is already in there, but I added a price for the windows.
So tell us about well, now let's wait. My question's going to be, you just did the windows. There's more windows?
That was my thought too.
Okay, fine, good. Well, we'll wait on that question. You can ponder it.
There's a lot of windows at that firehouse.
My problem last year that didn't have windows.
Well, those windows,
But it's in the numbers.
there's other windows
It should
that needed to be replaced.
It should say,
Information is just like a certain file.
Okay,
It's giving me object.
so is that?
Yes.
It just seems like they're sucking down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So don't go too far before
I'm
you go.
trying not to.
All right,
If I need to, I'll do it.
So Gary, I specifically texted you on Saturday.
You did?
Yeah, you responded. Village Hall. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Hey Joe, there's a package over there.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Joe, do you want me to move around so
Yeah.
you can sit to the board?
It's a little bit.
Didn't know if you need to sit.
Joe's a big boy, he's by himself.
I feel like it's
fellow
been
colleagues.
like we never had that. It's a little bit
you can't let him sit if he wants to sit.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Joe, Nicole doesn't want to sit next to you.
In case I have to pick.
I know.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Hey, so Gary, we're gonna go through fire and rescue and also police. But welcome to stay for police, you don't have to. We'll do fire first, all right? As I just said, we're gonna use this chart here. All right. It's got the red, yellow.
Okay.
That's what
No, technically. This has last year, this only has this fiscal year, this has two.
it wasn't the same page?
But it has all these.
It has that, yeah,
Okay.
this is for us.
Okay, so Don, why don't you take us through line by line?
Sure.
First one, welcome.
There's 2 pins there.
So you're using which one?
I'm using this one here, with the
Okay.
red on it, just so you can go line by line.
Just so I'm on the-
Then you can refer to backup, or your detailed backup if you need to.
Yep. Alright, so the fire equipment one, that's in the red right now because of the Tahoe.
Yeah, so that's actually I would call it a false entry, what I call it. The money for the Tahoe showed up on the line, it doesn't belong there, it's gonna get moved out.
We just need
Yeah.
to move it out.
Yeah.
We bonded it.
And so year to date, your actual equipment expenditure is 0.
Right,
Okay.
I'm actually waiting on a bill from that because that's where our turnout gear comes from.
Okay,
And that covers 2 sets of turnout gear.
what, $10,000? Okay.
Plus helmets and a few other bits,
Mhm.
but that's mostly out of that budget. This year I'm requesting 18, we're looking to get 4 sets of turnout gear.
Well, that's
And-
4 sets.
Yeah, that's for this year. That's why it's going up.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So the requirement is every time a person joins, you gotta get them their own separate turnout gear set?
For the most part, and also we have some that's aging out. NFPA for interior firefighters is 10 years life expectancy for turnout gear.
Mhm.
And we have a couple guys that have gear that has hit that age that we need to replace.
Alright, so I'm looking at last year's budget, you asked for 2 sets for 6,000.
Yep.
And now you're asking for 4 sets for 18,000?
Let's see here.
That sounds like it's a lot of price.
So, the out of that 18,000, 13,000 is for the turnout gear.
Okay, I see.
We also have a shortage right now of helmets. Right now, if someone joined, I have no helmets to give anyone.
Okay,
And then also, structural fire gloves and extrication gloves. I'm pretty much out.
so just so everybody knows that he's providing detail that's on these charts here, that's in the package. All right, everybody sees that? Just in case you want to see the backup detail. All right, so any questions on that? He's raising the equipment budget from 10 to 18,000. All right, go ahead.
The other stuff that's included in that 18,000, couple of our chainsaws kind of need updating. They're getting tired and worn out and hard to repair. They're getting harder to find the parts for. And the tonneau cover on car 2, the metal bed that's on top of it right now, the metal cover, leaks. Can't figure out how to seal it, and equipment is starting to get ruined in the back of it.
Okay.
When I had that truck, one of the air packs actually started rusting pretty badly, being back there.
So what vehicle does that go on?
The pickup truck,
Oh, okay,
that's the chief's vehicle.
okay.
So we're looking to try to find something a little more watertight than what's there.
So when you say chainsaw update, you mean replacement?
Yes.
Okay, fine,
Yeah.
okay.
So that takes care of the first line on that other chart.
Mm-hmm.
The contractual,
Well, that's up 2,600 from last year's budget.
yes, so, due to, right now we're pretty close on the diesel and gas. So some of that's in that one, or no, you separated that one, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
those are different line numbers.
The ladder testing and pump testing, that got increased.
Okay,
I got an email saying that this year's price would be more.
and hose testing looks like it went up as well.
Yep. Let's see here, what else did I
A
look at?
total of $1,100 on a base of about 6,000, okay.
Yep.
Pager radio repair is also, is up 1,500.
Yes, he had 1,000 last year. We have a couple radios that need to be replaced on the rigs, and they're not cheap.
Mhm.
So that's pretty much gonna eat up that, so hopefully I don't need more papers and radios next year.
Now Cascade bottle rental, you kept the same, but I thought we were gonna see a reduction here because you guys have a
So,
compressor now, right? For half of the bottle?
yeah, I didn't get a call back from them to see what it is going to be now. We still have the O2 bottles.
Yeah.
Because the compressor won't do straight oxygen.
Right,
And also the compressor isn't done yet.
Oh, really?
We've been waiting for almost 8 months now for these special models to show up.
Oh,
And
alright.
they're finally in Poughkeepsie. They're finished being set up, and then they'll be delivered hopefully in the next week or two.
Okay,
And I've been yelling at the salesman there for taking so long.
alright.
But hopefully, yes, the Cascade bottle rental will go down. I just haven't gotten a number to tell you what it will be.
So we have one in time for the budget?
I hope so.
Okay, fine.
And then the hazmat speedy dry flares, that's staying the same. That's not changing. We kind of go through about the same amount every year.
Okay,
Then physicals, as far as I know, this year we will be, staying within that number. I haven't heard, we just did them and I haven't gotten the bill yet for that.
we'll go back up, apparatus maintenance, that's up 4,600.
Yes, so, 72 was never included on the list before.
Oh.
And they actually had a repair for that for 3,500 just about this year. So I'm including that this year to hopefully mitigate any other problems. It doesn't destroy the rest of the apparatus budgets. The same thing with 97. That's just gonna be, it's gonna be the first time that's getting maintained. We have to bring it up to flares and have the maintenance done on that. So that's where 2,800 of that comes from.
What it says, go back to, it's 4971 is the ones you added, $2,000.
Yeah, I mistyped. We have 72. I wrote down 71.
Oh, 72, okay,
That's
fine.
what seven,
Yeah, but
And what vehicle is that again?
that's the ambulance.
Oh, okay,
97 is the new side by side.
okay.
Also, I increased on 4955 because last year that had several issues,
Mhm.
and the way it's been acting, I'm foreseeing a couple more.
Is that the new, which one is that?
That's the rescue truck. That's the one we're looking to replace in 2 years.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay,
So,
all right, so that covers the $4,600 increase
yep.
in maintenance. Any questions about that?
What are we using the ambulance for?
Right now, it's pretty much covering second due calls. They do try to get out and take over the more minor calls that the ambulance to keep the medic in town. But that's about all that the ambulance is able to be used for.
Does it transport people?
It does transport when we have the members available for it. Unfortunately, right now, membership is down in
Yeah.
that department, so they struggle.
But it's only a subset, when you're, the monthly data, you show that the members are out quite a bit, but the vehicle only goes out probably.
So the
less than half.
members on call that you're seeing on the scene,
Yeah.
that's not necessarily an EMT going to the scene. That's fire department personnel going to assist.
I see,
Um,
okay,
I can, pretty much the ambulance, what you see transporting, maybe add 3 more calls to that per month is what they're getting out for.
I see, okay. All right, so it's definitely a significant subset of calls they get,
Yeah.
but it's still active,
It's lack of membership,
yeah, sure.
4 EMTs, I think is what we have right now. And for them to take 1 call night per week, which is what they used to do, it's a bit much asking them to do 2 nights a week, to stick around town and be available for calls.
Yeah,
So they still take their 1 night, and then whatever other nights they're available, they try to go to, but out of that,
your
there's
4 active EMTs, does that include a driver, or is the driver?
drivers separate.
Separate.
Some of them are driver EMTs,
Yeah.
but they still need either another EMT or
A
a
driver.
fire department driver to
Okay.
show up.
All right, go ahead.
Any other questions on maintenance?
No.
All right.
That covers you, let's go, the next line is the employee benefits, and that's just for Sarah, that's the LoSAP number.
Yep.
And that's based on the input you get from the LoSAP, what you're putting in there, all right? You see that? I'm at the $24,000 line for fire employee benefits.
which order are you going?
I'm going right down this sheet.
Okay.
This doesn't, the
I
sheet you're
didn't,
looking
cause I
at.
didn't see gasoline, diesel, or training.
He talked about that before.
Oh,
We did gasoline,
You said that
diesel
basically.
training, stayed
okay,
the same.
alright,
Yeah.
alright, so
Physicals are.
Physicals he talked about, right, that's flat,
Mhm.
right?
So we're on fire, no.
So I'm saying employee benefits, that's LoSAP, that's a set number we get from LoSAP.
Mhm.
The next line is the cancer insurance we offer for the volunteers.
Yep.
And that's basically a little bit higher than what we actually paid, about 10% higher. See that we paid $44.15 this year, we're gonna estimate $4,800 for next year. Right, which is still down from what we budgeted last year. Going down to workers' comp, that number's down because we completed the 5 years of overreach payment from Dutchess County. It was deferred, so that's a benefit to workers' comp we're gonna see this year. It's a total of $8,000 benefit to us across the board, and a couple thousand of that was allocated to the fire team. Next line, unallocated insurance, that's liability, and that's just based on an estimate we've received from NYMER, that the rates are gonna go up about 7% from last year. And so that's just a number based on what we paid this year, updated to the 22,500 for next year. And then what you see, the next two entries are the principal and interest payment on the new assistant chief's pickup truck, which they've just received.
Yep.
Is that ready yet, or is it still being?
It's lettered, I'm still waiting for the lights and the command box in the rear.
All right,
But I should be hearing from him in the next week or so.
okay. And then the last item is just the annual reserve we put in for the future purchase of a apparatus.
Now I'm gonna do the yearly pitch for, hopefully do more on that. You heard the price tag for what the new rescue will be.
Mhm.
What we will have in that account by the time we go to do that is less than half of what the cost of the new rescue truck will be.
How are we doing with that? What is that gonna be? Do you know what the total reserve is now?
From what I calculate, it's gonna be about 460,000.
By the time
I
you,
haven't
By the
looked,
time we-
I haven't looked at 75 yet. 'cause I'm
Okay.
waiting for the time.
all right,
And the new truck's $1 million.
1.2. I've already secured one,
$1.2 million.
donation for about what you guys have, so we're still gonna fundraise the last third of it.
yeah, okay.
Reach out to a few other people for donations, but, so,
The fact that we just raised it last year from 60 to 75, I'm not in favor of raising it anymore. We are putting that money into New York Class, which is earning over 5% interest rates. That's helping out, to the tune of, what would that be, $25,000 a year.
okay,
So that's happening, all right?
can't hurt for trying,
No, you're working on your end as far as trying to get a donation to help you out, that's good.
Yes.
What about, it's just a discussion we can have when you're ready to come forward for a purchase, but what about upgrading one you've got now, as opposed to
So-
replacing?
When we talked to a couple of the manufacturers about getting a new box to put on the cab and chassis,
Yeah,
by the time it's all said and done, we would be out of our rescue truck for about 8 months for them to take off the old box, custom fit the new one, and redo everything. And it would be to the tune of 800,000 to do that. So to try to get another 20 years out of a cab and chassis for
all right, let me
a
ask you
few
this,
thousand less in comparison.
let me try this, against the $1.2 million new purchase, what's the trade-in value?
So they haven't given me one yet. From what I've saw or seen online, probably about 50,000 for the rescue
50?
truck. The last engine we got or traded in, I think we got 17,000 for.
Oh, is that right? Okay. How old will it be when you trade it in?
About 21, 22 years old,
Oh,
depending
Jesus.
on delivery date. So
What year is it?
it's 2004.
Okay,
What make is it?
It is a Salisbury rescue truck.
Okay.
I'm basing that trading value off of what I've seen them selling for online. There's a few online sellers, and I found one that was a couple years older than ours, upfitted about the same with the same features, and it was going for 48,000.
Do they actually sell?
Most of them do pretty quickly.
Yeah.
A lot of departments down south try to buy those because that's all they can afford.
Right.
But up here with the salt, we don't get them to last that long.
I guess what would a 10% increase in the reserve?
$7,500. Yeah. I'll tell you the truth, Peter, I think that's like a stone in the pond. It
It's
doesn't,
not much.
no, it doesn't do
No.
much. I mean, it's, philosophically, it's helping.
Every bit helps for it.
I guess
Do
my
we
thought
get-
is
Do we
just.
get donations?
Yes,
We do.
um,
We do have
We could have
a significant large amount of a donation coming from a resident in town of Washington that we've been working with through emails for the past 6 months, and they did say that they will give a substantial amount, but they don't want to be.
They don't wanna give you the amount?
No, they don't want to be told. They want to be known. That
Oh,
it's-
no, I understand that.
no, it's about, I think it was like 400 and, what's it? Yeah, $405,000.
Really pretty close.
It brings us 2/3 of the way there, and we still have about another 400,000.
Yeah, right.
Well, if we have 460 now, and somebody gives you 400, that's 800.
Yep, 1.2.
Plus, you're getting the $25,000 a year on the.
So
For right now, it's
now,
gonna go down
26
probably.
We're looking to 25, hopefully.
next year.
Yeah, we're hoping to be able to
Next
place
year.
orders soon.
I mean, the
But that
fact is,
also depends
we can
on
look at what we can get from
the
donations,
delay.
what we can fund ourselves, and
Yeah,
look to a bond.
but
If we need a 10-year bond,
something about
of the
any
rest.
donors that might.
that was a problem.
Right.
Once you put the order in, how long does it take?
Right now, they're talking 600 calendar days. Or
Almost 2 years.
almost 2 years.
Wow,
Um,
okay,
It gives you a little more breathing room.
yeah.
yeah.
So let's just go down that path and find out, when,
Does the unit we have now, is it functioning pretty
It's
good?
functioning okay. The water pump in it for car fires and such, that's what we use that pump for. Does have issues. We're at the point where we use it if there's a car fire, and that's it. We can't train with it really because of the fear of it breaking down and costing quite a bit to fix. And we've also outgrown it quite a bit. We've accumulated more equipment, and things are just kind of shoved in to get it to fit for the time being.
No, we did plan on, every year, every 2 or 3 years, we send out a brochure to generate donations and stuff, and that's what Dom and I were talking about doing that, probably the end of next year to go towards the new apparatus.
all right,
The end of next year or the end of
This year.
this year?
Yeah,
well, then this year, 2024, okay. So it's a budget discussion for next year. All right. Okay, so then, just looking at this table here, what you're showing us so far is versus last year's budget, total you're up by 30,000. Although you gotta understand, half of that is because of the adjustments we made to the LoSAP as well as the insurance. So
Yeah.
15,000 of it is your expenses. All right, the other 15,000 is correcting to the benefits and the liability insurance.
Yeah.
All right.
And then also in your email, you said NDP's contract is.
Well, that's right. We'll talk about it on the next page.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's 30,000 right here.
Yeah.
We'll talk about more on the next page. Any more questions on the first page? Here, are you okay?
Yeah.
Then we'll go to the next page. This will be Matt. This is the firehouse.
pretty much stayed the same, for the dumpster, the firehouse cleaning, vector security, that actually went up, from last year. but that also includes the CO detectors that we have in there that they have to monitor every year,
Alright.
every day and stuff. So that brought that up to $10,779.83 for contractual.
That's basically flat from this year's budget. Okay.
Utilities pretty much stayed the same. I did actually, we kept the electric the same at 11,000. The Optima bill is pretty much the same from last year. The propane for the firehouse, the same. The fuel, the heat and fuel, we left at 7,000. The maintenance, you have the 14,000 in there for the payment of 5
Yeah, for the roof, right?
for the roof.
Good.
Plumbing pretty much stays the same. Generator service, electrical, fire extinguisher, hood alarm system service, door maintenance, air conditioner, refrigerator, freezer service. We don't really know how much the bills are going to be, so that's why I have to just put a ballpark in there
Yeah, sure.
of that. The door leading into the engine bay and the rescue squad bay is in need of repair. That's the replaced fire rated door between engine
Okay.
and rescue squad door
Mhm.
or thing. It only can be banged back into place so many times, and it's really deteriorating. And during the summertime, it doesn't even close. The upgrade of the camera system throughout the firehouse, that's the quote I do not have yet. I'm actually in talks with Vector Security to give me a quote for that, but the guy I was going to talk to is on vacation this week,
Okay.
so he's going to call me on Monday.
Roughly, what were we talking about there? 1,000, 5,000?
Could be between 5 and 15. Not really sure.
5 and 15,000?
Is it something new that we don't have now?
We have one in there now, but it's about 15 to 20 years old.
And this is a
Very
security camera?
Correct.
Or like somebody breaks in?
Yeah.
But there's 10.
We don't need that,
There's 10 cameras inside the firehouse. That's the squad, and some in the engine bay as well.
We got $1 million trucks in there, you know.
I don't know.
But we'll, once we get to
I was just trying
So,
to
so,
get a giggle out of that.
so right now the camera system works?
no.
Or it doesn't work at all?
2 out of the 10 cameras work right now.
Oh, jeez.
And now it's on video.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But once we get that quote, then I'll bring it back to you and we'll go from there.
Okay. Are you getting multiple quotes, multiple vendors?
Well, I'm only getting a ballpark quote now, and then if it gets put in there, then when that time comes, then I'll get the 3 quotes.
All right, so this is just to give you a placeholder for the budget.
Correct.
Okay, all
And
right.
that's for the door, the fire rated door, and
Well, the door you got a number of 3,700. Is that a good number? Or is that an estimate?
that's it was an estimate of 3,400, but I had to go up because that quote came from last year.
Okay, fine. All right.
So the contractor says go a little higher because everything jumps.
Sure.
And the replace of the 2 windows that you're questioning is the 2 windows in the kitchen, the upstairs kitchen. The 2 original windows that were put in the early 80s when that kitchen was built. Replacing those 2 windows will cut down on the heat that is in that kitchen.
And what's the estimate for that?
3,000. That's in your.
I think I printed it on the same copy, but yeah, it's in the total on this.
Did we have windows replaced last time? Remember we talking about giving you money for windows?
Those windows were replaced in the big
That work
room.
was completed.
Correct. Yeah. That,
Yeah, what we did there last, remember we had a discussion at this meeting, Joe, and what we decided is since we ended up having extra money in the budget, we told them to push it into last year's budget.
Yeah.
All right, so therefore it doesn't show up now. And basically we just carry that forward for a credit for this year. For this year's budget, not for the one we're talking about now, for next year. Okay, so the windows are done. I thought the windows were done, except for evidently there's 2 other windows
There's 2 others.
that you discovered.
well, there's other windows too
Yeah,
besides those, but
Don't stop looking. All right, so let me ask you this, the 21,900, what do you guys show on your table here?
24.9, that's without the camera,
All right, so 24.9 is what the number is?
or requested, without the camera.
Yeah, that's the,
All right,
I printed the wrong way, I put the 3,000 in there, and then apparently I printed the unsaved copy. For the
good
third
thing I
time,
printed
for
mine.
the third time today, yeah.
all right, so let me understand, so the 24.9 does not include the upgrade to the camera system?
Correct.
The windows upstairs.
And it doesn't include, or does include?
It does,
doesn't
it does include the
This
windows.
includes, what's in the big this file
Yeah.
includes the windows.
I'm looking at the document that's in front of everybody right now.
Yes, does it say 24.9?
No, it says 21.9. Okay,
How did
so,
that happen?
The only thing that it doesn't
Mine
include
says
is the camera.
24.
Okay,
Mine
fine.
says
Correct.
24 too.
all right, so it's 24.9.
Oh, you didn't get a new
Not
copy
the
of this
Yeah,
one.
because I've written all over mine, I didn't want to have a copy.
Okay, yeah.
Too
Uh,
late.
I don't think that's on there yet.
EMS expenses down at the bottom.
Next page maybe, Joe?
What are you looking for?
Oh, paid ambulance.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
we
it's
haven't
over
gotten there
on the
yet.
back page.
425, right? Is that,
Yeah, but we haven't gotten there yet, yeah.
right,
So what I want to know is the number 21, the 24.9 doesn't yet have the camera upgrade,
Correct.
and what else?
That's it.
That's
it.
all, okay.
For this budget, and then next year I'll put in,
Two
keep
more
it low.
Some more
I do
windows.
have a list.
Couple more windows.
I do have a list of stuff, but, you know, I don't wanna, get thrown out every, you know.
Let's
He
try.
wants to pick and choose.
Let it trickle out.
You're pushing the envelope here, Matt.
Right, you know, and if the camera is just a little bit too high, then I'll put something else in.
Okay. All right, and the last item you have is the office, and actually
The
you brought that
office.
down 2,000 from last year.
The copier rental went down 2,000 because
Okay.
we changed from Conica Minolta to Rico.
Did you get that
I did.
email? Okay.
And that actually dropped it, instead of paying $288 a month for Conica Minolta color print.
Yeah, all right, good.
So that dropped that, like $2,000.
All right, good.
Office supplies stayed the same, and I did raise the network services up a little bit higher than last year because the price just keeps on going up for their services.
All right, so overall for the firehouse, a total of 67,200, right, which doesn't include the camera upgrade, is down from the budget last year of 73,000. That's because of the windows, basically. Okay. All right, good. Any more questions about Matt?
So I still, if it's down, I still have some.
No, because
wiggle room for the
because Don was so far up on the other page. All right. Nice try to help him out, but you didn't do enough.
you know, he tries, I try.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so ambulance. Let's talk about the ambulance, Don.
Yes.
So first off, the contractual expenses. I see an increase of $2,000 from last year. My problem with this number is, and you look at year-to-date, $7,600. That's on a run rate to finish off around 10, which is about where you finish every year in that category. So what is it that justifies even increasing above 10K?
So Lori does this part and
Yeah.
just brings it to me. I don't have that much to do with it. So,
Okay.
what so
Where are we, John?
We're on this page here, looking at
it's the
the
very last
rescue
And
portion.
then the EMS.
Oh, no.
portion.
paid ambulance.
Yeah, look at the CE portion of ambulance, which is the,
Yeah, the last section, and then the back of that packet.
so part of the contractual.
well, let's make sure Gary's
Yeah, well,
It's
with
fine.
us.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Some part of the equipment part, Lori explained this one to me. That went up a bit. A lot of their bags and stuff like that are starting to fall apart, so they're looking to get new ones. And the tablets and program for the PCRs, which is the reporting program they use, that's being increased. And the
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm okay with all this stuff. I think it's important that those volunteers have what equipment they need. And they always talk about how they need to replace stuff that's getting outdated.
yeah.
They need a new CPR equipment, I think, last year or whatever. My point is that they always come around 10K. So could you just go scrub it one more time and make sure that there's not fat in here that we can
Yep.
take out it?
I'll
Alright.
dig into
I
more of
also
that.
have a question with the training.
Okay, tell me about
Yes.
the training, what about the
Um,
training?
They're supposed to do their own submitting of training bills to you, cause I never see anything. that
I
doesn't come
don't
out.
ever see any training bills.
Okay,
The only
So-
ones I get are from Steve Van Buren that you give me, and basically, I don't know if there are any other ones.
okay.
Nicole, is it something that we pay the rescue squad for? Is that one of those?
Like a
bills?
reimbursement,
Yeah.
oh.
It might be that
That, okay, and then I wouldn't even know if it was training because
Correct.
I don't really get a
Okay.
detailed invoice, so.
I'll tell
if you
Lauren to
can
start
let her know,
detailing
I
that.
need to know that it's actually training.
Okay,
Well, actually, can you go back and maybe that's where my,
I'll go and look at the 45404 line.
Okay, fine.
and
Make sure
get a
this is
detail
somewhere.
on there and see.
okay.
so let's get to Don, that updated number, to me to see if we're,
And then I can go back to
Yeah.
Lori and
okay,
find
fine.
out what's up.
But they do separate training, they don't
Yes.
actually, okay,
But I don't see any of their training,
okay,
All right, let's just make sure that's a legitimate
expenses.
number.
okay.
That doesn't come through.
Okay, now, the next line is NDP. So Gary, the story here is, we have a 5-year contract with NDP that goes up 2.5% per year. That expires this June 1st.
Oh, okay.
But in the contract, they allow us to extend it a year if we give 90-day notice. That's my intention to do that. So and actually what happened was Mark Brown sent me an email saying, hey, it's time for us to get together and talk about the contract. And I said, hold it, I want to exercise this 1-year extension because there's a lot of noise going on around the county about these exorbitant rate increases that they're seeing.
Mhm.
So when you got, when you extended the next for another year, would you not solicit around just to see what the other prices are?
Let me tell you,
Like-
what I've heard from the mayors and supervisors who are actually, going in that is that they're way higher than what we're talking about. $425,000 sounds like a lot.
We know.
That's like half of what other, like Unionville's talking about and other municipalities are talking about.
So what happens next year when
It's gonna be a problem.
it's gonna be 100,000?
The only thing is
So-
that we're hoping that the county, who's got a presentation to Sioux City tomorrow night, talking about their plan for a countywide EMS action. We're hoping by next year, that's more fruit.
Yeah, yeah, hopefully that'll help.
Yeah,
Are you gonna go to that meeting?
I can, I'm gonna be out of town. Are you gonna make
When is it, tomorrow night?
it tomorrow night? Yeah,
Oh, they'll let us know.
yeah, right. Actually, Rachel sent out an email this afternoon which has the charts in it. And it's pretty similar to what they presented when we were up at the Creek Road a few weeks
Yeah.
ago. So,
Yeah, well, it's long overdue.
no kidding. The question is, can they actually make something happen?
Yeah.
All right, but anyway, that's the plan, is to extend this for 1 more year. It puts off the discussion until next year.
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
So that's the 425, that's a $10,000 increase, 2.5% on the 450 we're paying this year. Any question about that?
All right, money.
All right, so the bottom line is, the total fire rescue budget was $709,000 last year. What they're showing here is $725,000. This year is a 5% increase. All right?
That's without the cameras.
That's without the cameras, so.
And without the cameras, that's right.
Could be a 5.5.
15,742 is the noise
We
reason.
want the
Still a
one with
big increase.
lasers and all that.
All right, and Gary, I'm intending to use the same 85.4% allocation we used for last year.
Say that again.
I'm planning on using the same 85.4% allocation
Yeah.
between town
Yeah.
and village as we did last year, okay? All right,
So you have the formula, the 85,
yeah, 85.4,
so I'll give that to Lois.
And we split the cost up 2 installments too, right? You want
Yes.
one early in the year, right?
but yeah, this year I'd like to check knock the balance. Hear that story?
What?
The check not to down.
No, I didn't.
Never mind, sorry, just kidding. But anyway, that worked out really well, it's just split up here.
Yeah, sure.
All right. All right, any more questions for the fire guys regarding the fire rescue?
No,
All right,
thank you for having me.
thanks for coming.
So you're gonna give us a
No,
revised?
we'll get the revisions,
Yeah.
and I'll make sure that, I'll send it all to you guys.
So we can just give those, yeah.
Yeah, let's wait to give them anything until we get the updates, the
Yeah.
final from
That's
them.
fine.
I'll send it out, okay?
Yeah.
No, I'll send it to you and you go.
Yeah, all right, I'll send you all.
Good.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay, good,
They want me to add this.
Thanks, yeah.
thank you, have a good evening.
Everyone, just this.
You staying?
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
out.
Well,
Matt, Don, good job.
See what he's doing, he's using the chairs.
Yeah, you can put the chairs back.
Thank you.
You're setting a bad example for me.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night. Okay, Officer Witt, thanks for coming. You guys got the sheet for the police?
Yep.
All right, let's start at the top with the fees. Why don't, Sharon, why don't you explain what we're doing with the fees?
Did you grab a packet?
No, I didn't know there was.
Well, he's got his version of this.
So,
I mean, I haven't written.
Okay, fine.
No.
so we don't really use the police fees, as you can see, we just lowered that to 50.
Mhm.
So for the court and the school, we're gonna keep those, because we are actively using them and running funds in and out. But special events, we didn't really have any last year at all, and we budgeted 5,000. So we were looking to maybe take out the budget of 5,000 for special events and also take out the expense, because we've never, unless they just didn't specify, but we never paid a police officer out of the special events line item.
Special events is what? That's when like another,
My understanding was it's like the public assemblies that
Oh,
they should
okay.
be paying for the
Yeah.
extra police coverage.
we should start doing that. We should
We
start charging
discussed,
those,
yeah.
yeah.
A lot of this was based on when HBO was filming
Right.
and stuff.
Oh, that's true, right.
Unless you wanna keep, unless the board wants to keep 1,000 in each one of those
I think so.
for next
Now,
year.
just so the board knows, this is just, whatever we put in for the expected revenue is what we put in for the expense.
should be a wash.
So it washes off, it washes out. So if we change the numbers one, we're gonna change the other. So it doesn't really add or detract, it's just like a placeholder.
School and court is an in and out, or an out and in,
We make a little profit, but,
depending on who works there.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so roughly it's 61,500 another, so it's just there for a placeholder, so we have a place to.
And then
for the
the
legend.
fines, we just lowered that to 2,500.
Are we keeping this at 3 then? The other ones, the
Yes,
court
we're
and
keeping
school?
it, yeah.
Okay.
Those are three.
Yeah, the fines, these are monies that we receive
When
Through the-
tickets-
through the town of Washington court. The idea is that tickets are written, they're dealt with by the court, a fine is assessed. That assessment is set up to, or the payments are set up to the state, who then decides how much of that goes to the village, how much it goes to the town. And they give direction to the town to pay us a certain portion, like, we just got this one here. This is sent to the town, supposed to be to the town, it directs them to pay us the amount of money, which is our portion of what was paid to the town. So this is gonna be an adder to what we show here today. All
Do
right?
we know what this consists of? How long?
No,
how
we
many-
don't.
That's
So-
November.
It's like,
Well, it says November, but is it
Yeah, we don't know what's in there, what kind of tickets are in there.
is it just one month we think, or
I
No,
get, they
I
use,
got
I don't
it.
know,
We
like
would
it
get a
says
couple times a
November, it
year, so
says,
right.
I get them randomly.
Yeah, so that's why I don't wanna discuss it here with Gary. I'm gonna go back to Gary and have a sit down and figure out how we get more awareness in terms of how much money is being reported to the state and how much is coming back.
Yeah.
And also the timeliness of that.
good to know?
So that's my follow-up on that. Okay, now turn it over to the officer to take us through the expense portion.
I know that, I don't believe personal services is high on the agenda this evening, but that makes up a majority of my budget.
Mm-hmm.
So I did provide everybody some documentation of what was agreed upon last September between the board and the department as for pay rate, and the tentative salaries are listed on one of those pages there. You'll see a very detailed sheet of how I've laid out the 96 hours patrol week that we have currently, and that's reflective of the raises, the tentative raise on the other page, on the PO salaries page.
Yeah, as we all know, that's business as usual. We're not proceeding down as a path to change that. I made a proposal to the board. I've also shared with you the proposal, which includes hiring a part-time chief. And so based on that, that's gonna be a significant change to what you're showing there.
And a significant reduction in patrol hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
96 to 80 is what I'm proposing.
16,
Yeah,
16 hours, it's.
Yeah.
So
But that's something for us
it's
to-
significant, I mean, it's
to
nearly 20%,
Yeah,
so.
but I think that's something we need to do to make this department a more manageable operation. So that's what I'm gonna propose. We'll talk about that offline.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But like I said, so most of my budget is personal services, so I can't sit here and not at least.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, let's go to
The other 5 categories that I have any control over, we'll discuss. First, equipment line.
Yeah.
Essentially, I'm asking for the same 5,000 as last year, except that 4 of the 5 vests, everyday bulletproof bullet resistant vests, are expired this year, and they come in at roughly $1,000. Hence the increase from 5 to 9.
Now, those can't be part of your $10,000 grant.
They can be, but then we won't get the other things.
You have other
that we
things
took.
you got other things that you guys are gonna request?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
we're,
Okay.
More specific to the need for
right. I mean, I believe
and
that
against assault
yeah.
weapons and.
the grant was for essentially a new program or something that we don't have currently.
I see, okay.
So, and that would be the active shooter response equipment.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
The next one was contractual expenses. I don't know, everything keeps going up. I don't know, we're right on target. We're 3/4 of the way through the fiscal year and we got about a quarter left.
Mhm.
So I just, again, ask for an increase. I just don't know what the bills will be next year, to just give a little buffer zone
sure.
for it. Gasoline, seems like the 9,000 that was allocated last year is gonna be more than enough.
Yeah, why is that? Why is it so far off?
Well, we budgeted for when gas was expensive too, we didn't know if it was going up.
If you also recall, we had staffing issues for about 4 months out of this year due to the,
And cars out of.
Well, this isn't because of the allocation, we reallocated who was using gas and who wasn't?
No,
No? Okay.
no.
Because
In fact, I believe we're paying,
Almost all of it, I meant.
almost all
it's
of it.
89%,
How much?
89%,
Okay,
but
fine, that makes sense.
I asked Bob again for more of the sheets for the fuel logs. For a couple months, the gas gauge was not working, so
Okay.
any of the
That's
fire department had nothing. So there was a discrepancy in the fuel, so I'm waiting, I'd like another month or two.
So we know how much was used, we just don't know the allocation, who was using.
Right.
You know how much was delivered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right,
We
Yeah.
know where it went.
okay.
Yeah,
I assume the allocation is times 0.89 for us, right?
well, yeah, and then minimal for fire and
Mm-hmm.
highway. I mean, highway only uses it really in the summertime.
So do we need 9,000?
I have a question on that.
Okay, go.
Do we get cheaper gas or something?
We have a contract, actually with the town. The town goes out for solicits bids, and they get an annual contract, and we are part of that. That's
I see troopers buying gas all the time,
Oh,
at
yeah,
regular
at the
gas
station,
stations.
right, yeah.
So we operate that way down at my at the part-time job. We get our gas at the mobile. It's cheaper for the municipality not to have to maintain all of the equipment. And we use a card and a log. You got to punch in the mileage, the PIN number, and then it's billed at a reduced rate.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, right now, we get gas and oil, I think, is
I
part of the
have the
contract.
logs and stuff, and I can send them to you if you wanna look at
I don't.
them. Okay.
Yes.
No, but you're asking.
I don't understand why we do it this way, that's all. I'm just literally asking. I don't know
Yeah.
what the reason is.
The expectation is we're getting a volume discount by joining with the town. And I haven't even checked to say
The
this.
troopers would get a huge discount if they did it that way, right? So I'm just wondering why they don't do it that way.
How much of a discount do you get there?
That I'm not privy to,
Oh, not, okay.
I'm not high enough up the chain
If
down there.
anything, the allocation, the fire department needs to bump up a little bit more.
Okay, we're talking
Plus
about
we gotta
actually,
deal with
yeah.
this, who uses that, it just seems like a lot of,
well, we should do that. Oh, you're saying we had our own thing, I see, okay.
And now, not, like with the logs,
There
there's,
was a log.
well, they're not previously for us, they were reading the meter.
Oh, yeah.
There
that
was a
doesn't
meter
work.
box.
Yeah.
But now it's a handwritten log, so you're trusting that everyone's doing it exactly
That's
how
how
it should be.
that's how diesel was always done.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
diesel tank over there.
so I mean, I've never been over there to see it. That was the best solution that we have, seeing that
I'll come show it to you if you want.
I'm not interested.
I mean, I'm more than okay with dropping that number a little bit if you want. I mean,
I think you should.
at the end of the day, if we need to put gas in the cars,
course.
we're gonna adjust
Yeah, I
it.
just don't
So
wanna over budget.
if you
don't
wanna-
have to.
I mean, I don't know, what do you wanna drop it to? 6,500?
Sure. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. I will give you the information that I have logged,
Well, I mean,
that projects what it should be.
All right, fine.
okay.
Yeah.
You wanna
I'll-
wait and settle it off?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll look at it tomorrow.
I have no vested interest in what gasoline costs.
I know.
We use what we use, and it is what it is. It's a hard number.
You can't find out down there what is the discount you get?
I can,
Or ask the state police here what they get?
There was just a lot less road time the last few months too.
Because the cars were in the shop.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
Walking
actually months, but I mean,
patrols.
Yeah.
At least there's 2 months now that we're using it less.
using less, that's right.
Yeah. So I will do that
Okay,
and send that and see
so
what is
we'll
projected.
question that number right there.
Okay, I will circle that.
Okay, go ahead.
hold on.
Less hours.
Yeah, should be, right.
You can.
So what do you want to drop that to?
6,500, it's a suggestion. We have nothing yet until Nicole goes and does an analysis.
Written, that's it.
Yeah,
I'll do it tomorrow.
yeah, okay, fine.
Next one is repairs and maintenance. So last year we were budgeted for 3,500. You can see that we're over by approximately $8,000,
Mm-hmm,
which is almost 1 for 1 for the transmission that we put in the 2016 to get into the 2016 Ford to
right.
get it back up and roadworthy between the transmission and everything else that
Yep.
was wrong with it. So I am asking for $5,000 this year because we're now keeping a nearly 10-year-old vehicle
Yep.
on the road for another year.
It's a good move.
So there's a chance that it will need more repairs than the newer car. That was my reasoning on that.
Do you include in there the cost to do routine, what do you call it, when you clean the inside of the vehicle? What is it? Detail, right.
I didn't, but that should just about cover it.
I want that in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good.
The training, that line, it doesn't look like we spent a lot, but I made a clerical error when I bought some of the ammunition and I had it pulled from the equipment line instead of, like the training ammunition should have been purchased out of the,
Okay, yeah.
in my opinion, should have been purchased out of the training budget. It was pulled out of the regular equipment budget. I think we actually skipped
I can
it.
see where it was. It was either equipment or contractual, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I believe it was in equipment. I told you equipment. So, that seems to be right on par with number one, either expenses for us traveling to training, feeding people at the trainings and or the equipment that we need for the training.
All right. Any questions about his expense items there?
The training line item is all like in-person training?
Yes.
What about the cost of Lexipol annual training? Isn't there like $2,500 for that?
That wasn't free? Wasn't thrown in or no?
The first year, yes. Every year after that is $2,500, I think it was. It was $15,000 for the contract and like $2,500 a year for the.
Yeah, so I guess that would actually have to go up into contractual expenses then. So,
Contractual expenses.
right, because it's not necessarily I mean, the police one training, the online training is was that was around $600.
Well, maybe it was just 1,000. We should check our numbers, but we should put the number in there for that.
Right.
Not just say 1,000 sounds more like it, yeah.
I believe the annual, it was based on the number of police officers we had.
Yeah,
And it was something almost nominal. It was about $600 a year for the police one.
but just make sure it's added in there so we don't forget about
Are
it.
we adding it in contractual or training?
Contraction.
Oh,
Isn't there also DCJS training that is, I don't know, free? Like
There
state
is.
trainings?
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff is free. The DCGS, they have those modules through Lexipol, those are free.
Is it through Lexipol or no?
Well, no, DCGS has some and
That's
also
separate, right?
Lexipol has as well. Yeah. Right? Jared?
Lexipol has ones that are based on our policies and procedures. It's not necessarily a training. They're called daily training bulletins. They give you scenarios based on our policies and procedures. Like you're put into this scenario. What should you do? A, B, or C, and then A, B, or C.
Which is an excellent thing for
Correct.
police to do on a regular basis.
Correct.
Okay. And they have to acknowledge that they've done it.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, so contractual or training?
No, training. Let's do it in training.
Okay, so how much more?
I think it was going to be
Well, let's verify.
somewhere
the numbers.
between 600 and 1,000.
No, this is for next year's budget. All right, we bought the contract with Lexipol last August.
Okay.
All right, so this will be for next year. We should put in. Let's put 1,000 for now, and I'll verify
So-
tomorrow morning. Okay.
Like 3.
Yeah.
All right, any more questions for his contractual expense stuff? Okay, let's talk about retirement. That's a fixed number, nothing to do about that. This is the final payment on the newest police vehicle, right?
The 2020.
Principal and interest. And so next year we should be talking about a new vehicle. And do what we can to make this one last another year.
2006, the old Ford.
Yeah.
We'll limp it along.
Okay. All right.
Is everything out of the shop now?
Yes. So far, except we got a couple of recalls for each vehicle that it's got to go out to Ford, but that doesn't cost us.
The new one though, that was what? The transmission?
No, the engine. The engine.
After the engine, something else.
The
right?
transmission is a little slippy on it, but that again is going to have to go out to Ford. So it only has 24,000 miles on it, so that should be a warranty issue, not.
I'm surprised the
That's
warranty
crazy.
police vehicles for that low mileage. Because those are tough miles.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
Are we looking into that to make sure that it's going to be covered, or
Yeah, because it
we
isn't
don't want to wait
Ford
too
3
long?
year,
is it three?
3 year, usually 36,000.
Oh, good point. If it's covered still, we should get it.
Especially now, if we're not. I mean, less on the road, more. I mean, maybe it makes sense to just get it over there now. I
Like
don't
a
know.
bullet, yeah.
Absolutely.
I like that. All right, does that complete the discussion for police?
What about reserve?
That was eliminated a number of years ago.
Yeah, I eliminated that. What it does is basically it saves up, accrues money for the eventual replacement of the car. And if you were in a situation where you couldn't have a reserve, it would reduce the amount of bond you would do.
Understand.
All we do now is we just go and bond it.
It still exists, but we just don't exercise the use.
But there's nothing in there, right?
I'm just saying, like, we set up the resolutions.
Yeah, sure.
We have a bank account, like, it
We
still
could put
does
money in.
exist,
So now,
so.
like if we sold a police vehicle at the end of its serviceable life and we got whatever $2,000, would that go into that
Yeah,
line?
that would go, yeah, we
Okay.
make sure it went in there as opposed to anyplace else, sure.
Right.
But reality is we would sell it when we had a new one, so we would put that money against the cost of a new one,
Good. Yeah.
a partial payment.
Okay.
But right now, I don't see a reason to go for reserve given our situation.
I mean, I think everyone knows these two had their issues, and
Right?
I think a new vehicle is on the horizon at some point. So I
Yeah,
just
that's what I'm
don't,
saying, I'd like to hold off till next year.
yeah,
I mean,
it's always nice to have something in there when we start. I don't know, that's just me, but
And why? I mean, just,
get a little interest this year, less the bond later.
how much we're putting? We can put it in for now and we'll talk about it when we get the whole thing rolled up.
What would you
Do that?
suggest, Officer Wood?
well, if you're looking to buy a Ford again,
No, no, no,
we're not looking to buy it.
No, we're
well, with Ford, I'm familiar with their
We're talking
with their
70,000
prices.
for,
Yeah. So if you're looking
Tahoe.
at the Tahoe was about between 75 and 78, almost identical to the fire department's setup.
Mhm.
So I mean, a Tahoe should last actually last the department 10 years or more. So once we get into a new one, it would be advantageous to divide by 10 and start putting that away each year. Right now, like you said, we're kind of like, we're behind it. So, I mean, I don't even know where to start because it's going to be 75. So,
80. So it's gonna be.
yeah, most likely, yeah.
I mean, you want to put in 10 now, and we can have
Yeah, I was gonna
discussion.
say it's between 5 and 10. You want to split it at 75 or
That's what I was
8?
gonna say.
Well, okay. Well, let's put it 10, and then we'll talk about it if it gets to the point where we can't fit it, we'll reduce it to 75.
Perfect.
We're gonna do that?
Yeah.
First, let's add 10,000 to the reserve for a new police vehicle.
I think it's just good to have a consistent number going in there because then.
Yeah, I had to consider the 0.
10
Too
has,
consistent.
10 has 5 zeros.
Yeah. Overly consistent.
We'll put it in there, we can talk about it. at the
Four
end of the
zeros.
thing. The first thing I look at. Okay, any other discussions regarding police?
I'm looking forward to a little bit of discussion about personal services
Yeah.
as we go forward. I hope this isn't I came here once and then that's
Well, we've already talked once, I promise we'll talk again,
that's
and,
all
I'm looking for this, police chief, the, resumes are due by the 18th, and I wanna have start interviews then, that week being due, to go with the relevant applicants. And I'll make sure that you're in the loop in terms of anybody we think about we're gonna hire, alright?
Absolutely.
That certainly is, in my mind, job one, to, improve this department, for the benefit of all people, including yourself, alright? And certainly me. But anyway, so you'll be in the loop, alright?
Sounds good.
Alright, any other questions or comments from the board? If not, I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye, thank you.